When our group was asked what issues we thought needed more attention, we automatically thought of climate change. In this presentation, we'll be discussing the issue, the causes, the effect, and the solutions. This meaning what climate change is, why climate change is happening, what climate change is doing, and how can we stop climate change. We want to start our presentation by discussing what the issue is. So what is climate change? Climate change is defined as a change in global or regional climate patterns, in particular a change apparent from the mid to late 20th century onwards and attributed largely to the increased levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide produced by the use of fossil fuels. So what can we understand from this definition? We understand that climate change is what causes unusual weather patterns in certain regions, and that these changes have become more apparent since the late 20th century, and this is because of humans. We will get more in depth into what humans have done to our planet later on. So what causes climate change? Why is climate change happening? When we look at modern climate change, there are three main causes: burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and intensive agriculture. When talking about burning fossil fuels, we look at technology. As technology evolves and becomes more innovative, we use more and more fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and gas. We also depend on these resources in order to live our basic lives. We depend on it for electricity, transportation, and manufacturing. Deforestation has been a big problem as of recently. Because of our lack of trees and natural flora, we do not have enough plants to remove carbon emissions. This is because plants perform photosynthesis, converting the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere into oxygen. Intensive agriculture occurs because as our population grows, so does our demand. So, as the population of the world increases, so does the demand for produce and meat. And in order to keep up with the demand, companies will mass produce their livestock and their crops. The methods of doing so would emit greenhouse gases such as methane and nitrous oxide.
What climate change is doing. Climate change has majorly affected these four things: animals, humans, water systems, and temperatures. Humans and wild animals face new challenges for survival because of climate change. More frequent and intense drought, storms, heat waves, rising sea levels, melting glaciers, and warming oceans can directly harm animals, destroy the places they live, and wreak destruction on people's livelihoods and communities. Sea animals also suffer from excess carbon dioxide absorption into the ocean, which raise temperatures and increase acidity. Human health specifically is vulnerable to climate change. The changing environment is expected to cause more heat stress, poor air quality, and diseases transmitted by insects and rodents. Extreme weather events can compound many of these health threats. Water resources can have a big impact on people and animals' lives as well. Climate change has resulted in more intense droughts, which threaten crops, wildlife, and fresh water supplies. Ice glaciers are thinning and receding, which is leading to a rise in sea levels. The Arctic is warming twice as fast as anywhere in the world, and animals are losing their homes. Increased heat, drought, and insect outbreaks are all linked to climate change. They have increased wildfires. Greenhouse gases are trapping more heat in the Earth's atmosphere, which is causing an average temperature to rise all over the world. Increased evaporation will result in more frequent and intense storms, but will also contribute to drying over some land areas.
Number 4. Solutions. How can we stop climate change? We have researched many possible solutions to climate change and have chose 4 big general and 6 small general solutions to discuss in this video. We have included a list of big general solutions, which include contacting lawmakers and leaders, making an organization, finding greener energy sources, and preventing deforestation. Our next slide, big general solutions, include a more descriptive way to go on about these solutions, such as writing a letter or an email to one of your lawmakers calling for actions to prevent climate change. Number 2, starting an organization devoted to finding solutions and spreading awareness. This is a very positive way to make yourself heard and others heard to see a change. Number 3, Conducting or sponsoring research to find alternative energy resources that do not emit greenhouse gases, such as solar energy or wind turbines. Number 4, setting laws and punishments against major deforestation.
There are also some small solutions or easy solutions everyone can do personally. This includes walking or riding a bike, recycling, planting trees and other plants, going vegetarian, spreading awareness, and using greener energy sources. Choosing to walk or ride a bike or even carpool with someone instead of driving alone is one way to combat climate change, because this reduces the amount of air pollution and greenhouse gases that are released into the atmosphere. Reusing and recycling certain products like plastic bags and containers help cut down manufacturing and waste pollution that is harmful to the earth. Planting trees and plants helps produce more oxygen and clean the air since they absorb harmful greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. Eating more plant-based foods, going vegetarian, or even just reducing meat consumption helps work toward reducing the emission of methane from cows, which is a greenhouse gas that is a large contributor to climate change. Another way someone can personally combat climate change is through spreading awareness. This can be through protests, other events, or posting on social media to let others know the effects of climate change and what can be done. Lastly, using greener energy sources like solar energy reduces the emission of harmful gases. Simply turning off switches when they are not in use can also help the environment. Thank you for listening.